Hey guys, welcome to Ollie Talks Airsoft. Today we're going to be talking about Glocks. So, anyone that's followed my channel will probably have seen this. This has been my primary go-to Glock for maybe a couple of years now. I really like it, it's really good. I recently went from the original lower, or this is a Garda polymer frame, but with original TM internals on the lower. And I switched over to a Garda complete lower. So, I'll just take it down. It looks slightly different and it's got a slightly enhanced hammer. But I did a review of this and I'm actually not very impressed. So, it costs about the same as a standard Tokyo Marui Glock, and you just get the lower. And on some of my slides it just doesn't work and I get full auto. Have a look at my review on it. It's basically relatively scathing. It's not very good. But recently I've run into some more issues with it, and this is something which I imagine other people may have run into, so hopefully this video is going to help some people out. And it's basically the slide was just binding up and not wanting to go forward. And I noticed there was a tiny bit of damage on the front here, which I did correct. I removed it with a just a little square file block and took off the burrs that had created, thinking that may be the solution. It wasn't. So it just, because I was swapping my slide back onto the original and basically getting no issues with it whatsoever. So for a little while, I went back to just running it like this. Get it on. Yeah. So running it like this, and it ran perfectly. The slide swap is simple. But it was just, it's a real frustration that for some reason this one just wasn't performing anymore. So if I slowly drop the slide, that's not where it normally gets caught. So if I drop it really slowly, that's the usual place for a Glock to get caught. Then it goes forward and it gets caught here, and it just doesn't want to go forward. There's all this extra resistance that's happening there that just shouldn't be. And I know that it's the lower because if I put it onto this one, then the functionality is actually fine. That is what you'd normally expect, and then she loads, bounces forward. So I know that it's nothing to do with the upper. It took quite a bit of investigation to figure out what had gone wrong here, and fundamentally I don't think that I did anything wrong, but this is just something to warn other people. You may be able to see down here there is a screw hole, and I've actually removed the screw because that was what was causing the problem. It was pulling down the back of the rails on the hammer unit, and that was actually causing the slide to bind up, so it was never going fully into battery and things like that. And it's basically because I'd gone in, and periodically with any gas gun the screws are going to try and walk themselves out. I hadn't Loctited these myself, so assumed that they probably weren't from factory, so went in and gave them a little tighten a couple of months ago, and didn't realise that actually that was when the real problems with this lower started. So I don't really consider that to be user error, trying to keep things tight. However, yeah, that's what caused the binding issue. So I've done a few different things. I've sort of loosened it off a bit and tried it like that. But as soon as you loosen it off, you do get a tiny bit of movement in the hammer unit. But anyone that knows anything about the Glock hammer unit will know that it's actually this pin here that holds the whole thing in and together. So I really don't know what that pin or the screw here is actually for. So I've basically taken it out and it solved my issue. It solved the problem that I was having. So now, where is it? Now I can actually go back to using it. I still don't really recommend it, to be perfectly honest. I think with the money to get pretty much the same thing, I would buy TM pistol and just the Garda polymer lower for like £20. It's quite cheap. Good upgrade. It feels much nicer in the hand than the TM plastic. But yeah, the full complete one, it's just not very good. And yeah, that's just an issue that other people may have run into. So if you are getting the slide binding more than it should, obviously you'll always get on a Glock, it'll always stop about there, but it should be able to bounce forward. So, and when you cycle it properly, it should go all the way into battery, so you don't need to push it forward at all. So I'm happy with this. This is performing normally now, but it's only performing normally because I removed that screw. So yeah, that's the performance I would expect, and when slowly released you can stop there, and yeah, it almost gets all the way forward. I'm not using a really powerful recoil spring in this. I think it's 125 or 130%, so just enough to give it a lot of snap with an alley slide. So pretty cool gun. Anyway, hopefully this has helped someone out, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.